Reddit fresh.
Am I the idiot for getting in a bad mood over champagne etiquette? Background: I, female 21, am in my final year of university in the UK. I have a group of 7 close friends who do my course. 4 people from this group share a house, while me and our other friends live separately, each with our own housemates. Regardless, all 7 of us are close friends. We all live in the same student-heavy area of our university town, and my house is a 5-minute walk from their place. Our final exams ended last week, and my faculty had a big formal event planned on Saturday night, basically a party where you wear formal wear with drinks and live music. We had decided that we would all meet at the house which 4 of my friends shared, and then get 2 Ubers to a restaurant near the venue. I suggested that we buy some champagne to drink at my friend's house before we went to the restaurant, and everyone agreed with the idea. My friend Chloe, one of the 4 who share the house, and I went to the shop to buy 2 bottles on Saturday morning and kept it in their fridge. I paid, and everyone else transferred me their share of the cost. We agreed that we would meet at 6:30 that evening and get cabs at 7. I was getting ready when I got a message through on our group chat asking when I was coming over. I said 6:30. It was about 1:15, and one of Chloe's housemates, Dom, messaged that they were going to open the champagne so as to get there quickly. I messaged back to wait for me, and they said okay. I quickly finished getting ready and headed to their house. When I got there, they thrust a glass of champagne in my hand and said cheers, and all seemed in good spirits. I was evidently the last person to arrive, was before 6:30, and I immediately clocked that everyone's glasses were half empty. I asked when they opened it, and they said that they had opened it 10 minutes ago, but not to worry as they had saved me a glass. I was pretty upset by this, and kind of snapped back, asking why they couldn't have just waited. I was pretty upset during dinner, and I think they could tell. Some of them were apologetic, but a couple of them insisted that they didn't do anything wrong as they had saved me a glass and paid me the money for their share already. I said that the point of buying champagne was opening it together and toasting, not just having the drink itself, and the first bit was what I had missed out on. It put me in a bad mood for the rest of the night, and probably ruined the evening a little for everyone. Am I the idiot for getting in a bad mood over this, or was it justified? Edit: this got way more responses than I imagined, so thank you everyone for responding. A few points I wanted to clarify and I thought here would be better so they don't get lost in the fray. Ruining the night: I think dinner was pretty tense, but we are all very good friends and things were pretty much fine by the time we got to the party, even if I was filled with a sense of righteous indignation. I am still annoyed that they did it, but it's not a friendship-breaking issue. The night wasn't ruined, just married. Champagne etiquette: my tongue was a little in my cheek when I came up with the post title. I wasn't trying to say that there's some socially mandated etiquette to serving champagne, just that I thought everyone would understand that it's different to a cheap bottle of Lambrini, and that it would be nice for us all to be there to open it together. Why they did it: clearly from the responses there are 2 different views. Champagne is a social thing that you do together, or it's just a nice/expensive drink, and my friends thought it was the latter. That said, I'm pretty sure they did pop the cork and do a toast from things that they said. They did have other drinks there, but I guess when all you have available is paint stripper vodka and tinned lager, 2 bottles of chilled malt in the fridge probably seemed quite appealing. Not the idiot. They could have had a glass of ordinary wine while they waited. You arranged it and then missed the toast even though you were on time and they knew you were on the way because they were rude. The only way I can see blame being with you is if you are always late and unreliable and were late again for the drinks. Not the idiot. It's not even champagne etiquette, it's just being nice. They said they'd meet at 6:30 and leave at 7. They message you before the time that apparently everyone is early and they just absolutely cannot possibly wait to drink champagne. You say you were going to rush to get there for the champagne and get there before the agreed upon time and they already opened it. They knew you were rushing over. Why would they think it was just to drink a glass that's been sitting out for 10 minutes? Then you just hung around for over 30 minutes because the only planned activity at this time was opening champagne, but of course that had to be done at like 6:10? Now, for the next story. Am I the idiot for not making my 2-year-old say please? My parents-in-law, who I absolutely love, watch our toddler, female 2, often. This is something they ask us to do at least once a week. She is the only grandchild on this side, and my in-laws live less than 10 minutes away. 99% of the time, this is a lovely arrangement for everyone involved. They love to spoil my daughter loves the attention, and we love the break. A problem has arisen recently though about my daughter's boundaries. My husband and I, both 29, have been very firm about everyone listening to my daughter when she says no about something to do with her body, no kisses, hugs, whatever. We noticed my mother-in-law in particular was no longer listening when my daughter refused kisses and hugs. This is probably because it was only recently that she was regularly saying no to love from my in-laws. So last week, we gave the whole family a heads up that the toddler was rejecting love more often lately and a reminder that she was to be listened to about her body unless it was a safety/health issue. Everyone agreed and we went out of town for a week. Well, the in-laws wanted to see the toddler after we got back and that's when things got messy. See, in the week we had been gone, my toddler had picked up 2 new phrases to tell us no, go away, and leave me alone. My daughter is quite articulate for her age, so these phrases were funny but not shocking to her father and me. Unfortunately, my mother-in-law did not find it funny. When we were picking her up last night, all my little girl wanted was mommy and daddy. When asked if she wanted to give kisses goodbye to her grandparents, she told them to leave her alone. Having heard her say this all last week, I thought nothing of it. I simply told my in-laws not to feel bad and that she was saying that to everyone right now. But this morning I was greeted by a long text from my in-laws asking my husband and I to teach my toddler manners. And that if she was going to say things like leave me alone, she needed to add please at the end. I was shocked and upset, both at the insinuation that we don't attempt to teach our daughter nice words and at the insistence that a 2-year-old needed to say please all the time. As far as I'm aware, most of the children my daughter's age yell and hit and cry when they are tired and want to be left alone. I was baffled that my in-laws were insisting she say please to them. I sent them a long text back, nicely, conveying what I felt about their expectations for our 2-year-old. And then let them know that we do ask her to say please often, but that we don't expect her to pick up this behavior for a long time. So am I the idiot for not expecting my 2-year-old to be polite when she's tired? The only reason I'm not sure is because my husband thought nothing of their text. Thought it was a reasonable request. And maybe I'm just being a mama bear or coddling her. Or something. ETA, a lot of people are missing the part when I said that we do ask my daughter to say please and thank you. We just don't expect her to do it naturally without being reminded by an adult, lol. And I simply didn't ask her to do it last night because it was past her bedtime and she was on the verge of a meltdown. I was just trying to get her home ASAP. ETA 2, many of you think that I think it's funny when my daughter says go away or leave me alone. Nope. We thought it was funny that she picked up those phrases. We have no idea where she learned them since she doesn't go to daycare. We thought it was unexpected and therefore funny. Like haha, where did she learn that? Obviously, it hurt our feelings the first 20-ish times she told us to go away. And we imperfect parents remember to ask her to say please about 60% of the time. But we are also adults and realized she's just using a phrase she doesn't quite understand to convey that she wants to not be touched, or allowed to be grumpy for a few minutes, or even that she's trying to poop and needs privacy. Some of y'all obviously spend 0 time around toddlers. Last edit, since a lot of you are still here, I figured I'd take a last look and answer some of the frequent questions. My daughter came with us on the week away. She was not with her grandparents. That was the first time they had seen her in a week and a half, which is a long time for them to go without seeing her, and she was noticeably more shy around them than usual. Yes. My mother-in-law and my in-laws in general have had to be reminded of boundaries more than once. This was their 3rd or 4th reminder to listen to my daughter. This is the 2nd time my mother-in-law was the cause of the reminder. No. I am not worried about my mother-in-law abusing my daughter. I know she's safe. But I also have reservations about multiple people in my husband's family who have a history of sketchy behavior. But that's a whole other can of worms we aren't discussing here. A lot of the clashing about bodily autonomy comes from both generational and cultural differences. No. I'm not dying on this hill. LOL. The conflict was never about whether or not I would be teaching my daughter manners. We definitely are. It was about whether or not my in-laws had any right to be mad about this specific instance and then also backseat parent. Yes. After taking a step back for the day, I can see that both I and my in-laws reacted to this. She's 2. None of this is a big deal. They were probably hurt by my daughter telling them to go away. And I'm pregnant and very emotional. So yeah. We blew it out of proportion. My bad. If anyone was wondering, it's all good with my in-laws already. They backed off a bit after my text letting me know they had just felt her rudeness was out of character since she's such a sweetie pie normally, you know, 'cause we aren't idiots who don't teach our child manners. And that they won't bring it up again. My daughter and I FaceTimed them this evening and there was no awkwardness at all. You're the idiot in this situation. She is intelligent enough to learn manners, and yes, you are coddling. Saying to her, say please, please is not hard. Even when denying affection, there is no reason to be rude about it. There is not a problem with her not wanting to be touched, but her delivery needs work. Everyone sucks here. They probably shouldn't have said anything, even though I also don't think they're wrong. It's not really their business. I think you're taking this way too personally. It doesn't sound like they're saying she has to say please flawlessly every time. They're noticing that you're not bothering to correct the behavior when it happens and are acting like it's funny. If she's going to ever say please consistently, you need to reinforce it every time she says leave me alone. They're not insinuating you're not teaching the toddler nice words, they're literally observing that it isn't happening. Now, for the next story. Am I the idiot for refusing to listen to mother-in-law's speech on my wedding? So I hate speeches. I never understood the appeal. I think they are boring, exhausting, and very, very forced, but having said that, this is just my opinion and I never forced it on anyone. I have sat through long excoriating speeches without complaining like any other decent human being. When it was my turn to get married, however, I requested no speeches. We wrote that we loved everyone and that we knew they loved us, so if you want to say anything, say it to us directly, in private. My husband thought it was funny, but he knew my feelings about speeches. We had a small wedding with only loved ones. A weekend long. My husband loves games, so the wedding planner did a really great Taskmaster type of games and everyone appreciated it. Dinner came and mother-in-law stood up and started by saying, I know we are forbidden to make speeches by the bride, but this is my only son getting married, so I will say what I want to. I didn't hear the rest because I was seeing red. My sisters and bridesmaids were shocked. I pretended like she wasn't talking and continued my conversation with my girls. They did the same. Mother-in-law was furious, both sister-in-laws were furious, and my husband was very angry that it showed in his profile. He refused to look at me. The rest of the night was awkward. My husband sighed, sulking in their seats. I wanted to make sure it wasn't ruined for the rest of us, and we ended up having a blast. Next day I spent it with my family and friends. My husband said that I was very wrong in what I did. I couldn't force mother-in-law to STFU, and he knew she wouldn't no matter how much we told her. I shouldn't have disrespected and humiliated her like this. Our marriage started on the wrong foot, it seems.